Alright, so bear with me for a second. Just close your eyes, imagine it's 2005, and your biggest worry in the world is if your crush liked your MySpace top 8, if your mom's making pizza rolls, and then you decide to press this button, and this is the sound you hear. And the sound is just instant dopamine. Now, before we get into nostalgia, I want to talk about a secret that is basically just buried in corporate history. Most people have never heard of it, and it is that the Xbox 360 was almost called the Xbox 3. Xbox was absolutely scared of calling this thing the Xbox 2, and really, math is not that hard. Xbox went from the Xbox One, skipped the Xbox 2, wanted to name this thing the Xbox 3, and then just decided to go with the Xbox 360. Now, they did the same thing with the Xbox One, which is not the Xbox One, it is truly the Xbox 3, which just makes this more confusing. Xbox, get it together with your naming schemes. But there actually is some reason behind this. Xbox was scared that the Xbox 2 would sound inferior to the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 2 was the absolute GOAT of all time in my opinion. And Xbox was worried about the naming scheme of their console being overshadowed by the PlayStation 2 and just the absolute dominance that it had in the industry. And they ultimately landed on the Xbox 360 because they wanted the gamers to feel like they were in the center of the gaming experience. Which is ironic because the only thing that was in the middle of the Xbox 360 gaming experience was that massive power brick that could double quite literally as a weapon. So today we're looking at the rise, the fall, and the absolute chaos of the Xbox 360 generation. To understand the Xbox 360, we have to take a look at its father. Its father was the Xbox original, and basically it was a gaming PC that was shoved into a plastic box the size of an SUV. It gave us Halo, it gave us Xbox Live, but it didn't give Microsoft what they wanted, which was market share and market dominance. And during this time, Sony was just king of the castle still, there was nothing Microsoft could do to take over. So Microsoft went into war mode and launched codename Xenon. They didn't want just a regular console, they wanted a fashion statement. They actually hired a design firm to design the Xbox 360 to give it that classic concave design. And I believe that concave design was basically to try to make the Xbox look like it was inhaling, when in all reality, the only thing that damn thing was inhaling was a bunch of dust from my living room. And in my opinion, the real genius behind this console was the controller. When they went from the Duke controller that could probably kill somebody to the S design Xbox 360 controller, they cut the wires off so it was a completely wireless experience. I really think Xbox knocked it out of the park with that. It's still probably my favorite controller to this day. And on November 22nd, 2005, the Xbox 360 hit the shelves, and it brought the heat. We had games like Call of Duty 2 and Project Gotham Racing. But the game that really changed the DNA for the Xbox 360 came a year later, which was Gears of War. And for a second, it seemed like everything was perfect. It seemed like the Xbox 360 was the console that everybody was asking for. But with great power comes great devastation, I guess. The console just absolutely started to fail. The failure rates were worse than anything anybody has ever seen in time. So we have to talk about that, and that part is the red ring of death. And if you owned a console from 2006 to 2008, you didn't play games. You played Russian roulette every time you pressed the power button for the console. And one day you're playing Halo 3, the next you're looking at 3 red lights that are blinking on the front of your console, and now your very expensive console is an oversized paperweight. And during this time, the failure rate was roughly about 50%. You almost were guaranteed to know somebody that were going through the red ring of death. And I can't overstate this or understate this enough. People were desperate. We were going through and wrapping our Xbox 360s in towels, trying to overheat the console to a point where it remelts solder inside the console. If you had a buddy that could go through and do the Red Ring of Death repair kit, which was screwing screws into the heat sinks that quite literally warped the motherboard to a point where it was damaging it over time. We were just doing anything and everything we could to get back and play Halo 3 or get back on Xbox Live. And during this time, Microsoft really did something big, which they set aside, I think it was close to $1 billion, and extended everybody's warranty, making sure that you had a chance to get your console fixed. But really, it was just one of the biggest oopsies in all of corporate history. Now, I'm not going to spend any more time on the Red Ring of Death, even though it was a highly traumatic time for myself and basically all of my friends that I knew growing up. So now, moving on from the lows of the Xbox 360, we're going to get on to the high points of the Xbox 360 and why I think it absolutely dominated. So despite the melting consoles, I think the Xbox 360 won because of Xbox Live. You also had the Blades dashboard in the early days, which was clean, it was efficient, it got to the point, didn't have clunky advertisements everywhere or trying to just get you to buy something every moment of the day. And even something as simple as hearing that chime every time you got an achievement was absolutely amazing, just pure bliss for your mind. And let's not forget about the Xbox Live lobbies. If you survived Modern Warfare 2 in 2009, you survived the absolute peak of toxic internet and gaming online. And during this time, I learned more about my mother's extracurricular activities that I just really purely didn't want to hear about. It was absolutely lawless, and if I have to say it, I kind of miss it. It really was the peak of Xbox 360 gaming. And as the years went on, it just really felt like Xbox 360 was where Xbox found its soul, where it finally actually achieved what it was looking to do, which was market dominance. But from 2009 on, it felt like every subsequent year after that, just Xbox lost a little bit more of its soul, to the point where just Xbox lost its dominance by the end of the console generation. Then they came out with the Xbox One, which just was an absolute flop, but we're not going to talk about this in today's video. And to this day, the Xbox 360, I think, is the absolute GOAT. It is my favorite console, probably of all time. As you can see, I have quite a few behind me, or my collection of 360s behind me. But it brought us a lot of amazing games. You have Halo, Gears of War. It brought us a lot of indie games, a lot of demos, and really it just filled a special part of my heart, basically from 2006 to about 2010. So as I close out this video, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite Xbox 360 memory? Or was the red ring of death just too much to where you gave up as soon as you received it? And if you still have an Xbox 360 today, go give that thing a pat on the back, because it deserves it. It is a survivor, not many made it through. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.